Hello students, I am very happy to welcome you to the science video session. In this session, we are going to learn Unit 3 Light from Physics. Let's move on to the session. Dear students, have you ever wondered how can you see your face in the mirror? It is because when light rays comes from an object falls on the mirror to form an image. Students, how do you feel when you are alone in a dark room? You would be frightened of staying in that room. After some time, when light comes, you will be free from that fear and become happy. Let's learn some interesting topics on light. In this unit, we are going to discuss about the different types of mirrors, terms of spherical mirrors, real and virtual images, uses of curved mirrors, laws of reflection, types of reflection, refraction of light, and dispersion. Now let's move on to the topics. First, we'll see about the types of mirror. Before going into the topic, can you tell me what is a mirror? A mirror is an optical device with a polished surface that reflects the light falling on it. We use mirrors in our daily life for various purposes. Mirrors are classified into two types, plane mirror and curved mirror. Plane mirrors form the perfect image of an object, whereas curved mirrors produce images that are either enlarged or diminished. Diminished means very small in size. Now let's know more about each type. Curved mirrors have four types. They are spherical mirror, cylindrical mirror, parabolic mirror, and ellipsoid mirror. Spherical mirrors. Spherical mirrors are one form of curved mirrors. If the curved mirror is a part of a sphere, then it is called a spherical mirror. One side of this mirror is silvered and the reflection of light occurs at the other side. There are two types of spherical mirrors, convex and concave mirrors. Convex mirrors are curved outwards. Concave mirrors are curved inwards. Concave mirror. It is a spherical mirror in which the reflection of light occurs at its concave surface. These mirrors magnify the object placed close to them. That is, magnify means enlarge the object. The most common example of a concave mirror is the makeup mirror. Convex mirror. It is a spherical mirror in which the reflection of light occurs at its convex surface. The image formed by these mirrors is smaller than the object. Most common convex mirrors are rear viewing mirrors used in vehicles. So, convex mirrors are spherical mirrors in which the reflection of light occurs at its convex surface. Next, parabolic mirrors. A parabolic mirror is one type of curved mirror which is in the shape of a parabola, that is, the shape of an arch. The light rays will be reflected to travel a long distance without getting diminished. It has a concave reflecting surface, and this surface directs the entire incident beam of light to converge at its focal point. Parabolic mirrors, also known as parabolic reflectors, they are used to collect or project light energy, heat energy, sound energy, and radio waves. They are used in solar cookers and solar water heaters. They are used in reflecting telescopes, radio telescopes also. In order to understand the image formation in spherical mirrors, we need to know about some of the terms related to them. Terms of spherical mirrors: axis, center of curvature, focus, focal length, and radius of curvature. Let's see in detail. Center of curvature. It is the center of the sphere from which the mirror is made. It is denoted by the letter C in the ray diagrams. Principal axis. The line joining the pole of the mirror and its center of curvature is called principal axis. What is called pole? It is nothing but the center of the mirror, spherical mirror. It is denoted by the letter P. Next, radius of curvature. It is the distance between the center of the sphere and the vertex, that is, center of curvature and the pole. It is shown by the letter R. Focus. When a beam of light is incident on a spherical mirror, the reflected rays meet at a point on the principal axis. This point is called as focus. Focal length. The distance between the pole and the principal focus is called focal length of the spherical mirror. The focal length is half of the radius of curvature. Focal length is equal to radius of curvature divided by 2. Next, numerical problems related to a spherical mirror. Problem 1. The radius of curvature of a spherical mirror is 20 cm. Find its focal length. Solution. Radius of curvature is equal to 20 cm. The formula for focal length is equal to radius of curvature divided by 2. Substitute the value of r. R is equal to 20 cm. Therefore, 20 divided by 2 is equal to 10 cm. Problem 2. Focal length of a spherical mirror is 7 cm. What is its radius of curvature? The formula for radius of curvature r is equal to 2 into focal length. If you substitute the value of focal length 7 cm, then we will get 2 into 7 is equal to 14 cm. So the answer is 14 cm. We know the formula focal length is equal to radius of curvature by 2. So from the formula we have to take for radius of curvature. Let's see images formed by spherical mirrors. Images formed by spherical mirrors are of two types, real image and virtual image. Real images can be formed on a screen, while virtual images cannot be formed on a screen. Convex mirror forms virtual image. Concave mirrors form a real image. Next, image is formed by a convex mirror. Image formed by a convex mirror is always erect, virtual, and diminished in size. When the object is placed at infinity, the size of the image is highly diminished. The nature of the image is virtual and erect. Next, images formed by a concave mirror. Concave mirrors show different image types depending on the position of the object in front of the mirror. When the position of the object is at infinity or beyond C, position of the image is at F or between C and F. The size of the image is highly diminished. The nature of the image is real and inverted. Position of the object is at C, then the image falls at C. It is of same size as the object. The nature of the image is real and inverted. Next, the object is placed between C and F. Then the image falls beyond C. The size of the image is magnified, showing real and inverted. Next, the position of the object is at F or between F and P. Then the image falls behind the mirror. The image size is magnified, showing virtual and erect. Students, you can observe from the diagrams that a concave mirror always forms a real and inverted image, except when the object is placed between the focus and the pole of the mirror. Now let's see some examples. Now let's see some applications of curved mirrors. Uses of concave mirror. Concave mirrors are used as shaving mirrors, torch lights, head mirrors by doctors, and reflecting telescopes. Next, uses of convex mirrors. They are used in vehicles as rear view mirrors, hallway mirrors in hospitals, hotels, schools, and stores, and roadside mirrors to make sharp curves and turns. Next, we are going to see about reflection. Have you seen the rays of sunlight falling on the water bodies? Yes, it is reflection. The bouncing back of the light rays as they fall on the smooth, shiny, and polished surface is called reflection. Laws of reflection. Reflection involves two rays, incident ray and reflected ray. The incident ray falls on the shiny surface of a reflecting body. After falling, this ray returns into the same medium as reflected ray. An imaginary line perpendicular to the reflecting surface is called the normal. The relation between the incident ray, the reflected ray, and the normal is given as the laws of reflection. Let's see the laws of reflection. The incident ray, the reflected ray, and the normal at the point of incidence all lie in the same plane. Next point, the angle of incidence and the angle of reflection are always equal. That is, angle I is equal to angle R. Next, types of reflection. The amount of reflection of light depends on the nature of the reflecting surface of the body. Based on the nature of the surface, reflection can be classified into two types, regular reflection and irregular reflection. Let us know about it. Regular reflection. When a beam of light falls on a smooth surface, it gets reflected. The reflected rays will be parallel to each other. Here, the angle of incidence and the angle of reflection of each ray will be equal, hence, clear image is formed. This reflection is also called specular reflection. Example, reflection of light by a plane mirror. Next, irregular reflection. Irregular reflection is also known as diffused reflection. When light falls on rough or irregular surface, the light rays are reflected at different angles. The angle of incidence and the angle of reflection of each ray are not equal. Hence, the clear image is not formed. Example, reflection of light from a wall. Multiple reflections. The image formed by one mirror acts as an object for the other mirror. This is known as multiple reflection. The number of images formed depends on the angle of inclination, theta of the mirrors. If the angle between the two mirrors is a factor of 360 degree, the number of images formed is equal to 360 degree by theta minus 1. Next, problems related to multiple reflection. If two plane mirrors are inclined to each other at an angle of 90 degree, find the number of images formed. Angle of inclination is equal to 90 degree. The formula for finding number of images formed is 360 degree by theta minus 1. If you substitute the value of theta, we will get 360 degree by 90 degree minus 1 is equal to 4 minus 1 is equal to 3. So the answer will be 3. Multiple reflection can be seen in kaleidoscope and periscope. Kaleidoscope. It produces numerous patterns of images. It has two or more mirrors inclined to each other. This instrument is used as a toy for children. Next, periscope. It is an instrument used for viewing bodies or ships which are over and around another body or a submarine. It consists of a long outer case, and inside this case, mirrors or prisms are kept at each end, inclined at an angle of 45 degree. Light coming from the distant body falls on the mirror at the top end of the periscope and gets reflected vertically downward. This light is reflected again by the second mirror kept at the bottom so as to travel horizontally and reach the eye of the observer. Can you understand the working of periscope? Next, uses of periscope. It is used in submarine, military, photographs, and used by doctors as endoscopes to view internal organs of the body. Next, refraction of light. What is refraction of light? Bending of light about the normal at the point of incidence as it passes from one transparent medium to another is called refraction of light. When a light ray travels from the rarer medium into the denser medium, it bends towards the normal. See the left side of the picture. When it travels from the denser medium into the rarer medium, it bends away from the normal. See the right side of the picture. You can observe this phenomenon with the help of the activity. Now take a glass beaker, fill it with water, and place a pencil in it. Now look at the pencil through the beaker. Does it appear straight? No. It will appear to be bent at the surface of the water. Why? Because the light rays actually travel from the water, a denser medium, into the air, a rarer medium. So it is deviated from its straight line path. So the pencil appears to be bent when you see it through the glass of water. Let's see about refractive index. The amount of refraction of light in a medium is denoted by a term known as refractive index of the medium, which is the ratio of the speed of light in the air to the speed of light in that particular medium. It is denoted by the Greek letter mu. Mu is equal to speed of light in air c by speed of light in the medium v. 1 mu 2 is equal to absolute refractive index of the second medium divided by absolute refractive index of the first medium. 1 mu 2 is equal to c by v2 divided by c by v1. If c get cancelled, 1 mu 2 is equal to v1 by v2. Problem. Speed of light in the air is 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second. And the speed of light in a medium is 2 into 10 power 8 meter per second. Find the refractive index of the medium with respect to air. The formula for refractive index is speed of light in air by speed of light in the medium. Substitute the values of speed of light in air and speed of light in a medium. We will get mu is equal to 3 into 10 power 8 by 2 into 10 power 8. The answer is 1.5. Next problem. Refractive index of water is 4 by 3 and the refractive index of glass is 3 by 2. Find the refractive index of glass with respect to the refractive index of water. As we know already, the absolute refractive index formula is refractive index of glass by refractive index of water. So if you substitute the values, we will get 3 by 2 divided by 4 by 3. If you multiply and divide, you will get the answer 1.125. That is W mu G is equal to 1.125. W means water, G means glass, mu means refractive index. Next, Snell's law of refraction. Refraction of light rays obeys two laws which are known as Snell's law of refraction. The incident ray, the refracted ray, and the normal at the point of intersection all lie in the same plane. Second point, the ratio of the sine of the angle of incidence to the sine of the angle of refraction is equal to the refractive index of the medium, which is a constant. That is, sine I divided by sine R is equal to mu. The last topic is about dispersion. Splitting of white light into its 7 constituent colors on passing through a transparent medium is known as dispersion of light. Let us place a prism on a table and keep a white screen near it. Now, with the help of a torch, allow white light to pass through the prism. What do you see? You can observe that white light splits into seven colored light rays, namely violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red on the screen. So this is referred as VIBGR. Why does dispersion occur? It is because light of different colors present in white light have different wavelength and they travel at different speeds in a medium. Thus, the red colored light, which has a large wavelength, is deviated less, while the violet colored light, which has a short wavelength, is deviated more. A very good example of dispersion of white light is the formation of rainbow after the rainfall. So, what is dispersion of light? Splitting of white light into its seven constituent colors and passing through a transparent medium is known as dispersion of light. Let us recap. In this unit, we have learned types of mirrors, terms of spherical mirrors, real and virtual images, uses of curved mirrors, laws of reflection, types of reflection, refraction of light, and dispersion. Hope you have understood all the topics in this unit. See you again in the next class. Thank you, dear students. Happy learning. God bless you all.